What if Ash Ketchum finally grew up? Would he be a Pokemon master? Would he marry the love of his life? Would he have kids to follow in his footsteps? And would he even, at long last, remember that ground-type Pokemon are immune to electric attacks? Time skips have been pulled off in various popular anime, and if Pokemon did the same, we could have a very interesting protagonist on our hands. So, let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? It's a sunny day here today, and my house smells very strongly of curry. Do you like curry? Today we will be answering a question I received from a viewer who asked, do you think the Pokemon anime will ever have a time skip with a teenage Ash and companion? And if yes, then how will it turn out to be? A great question, as our boy has been trapped in limbo for 23 years now, leaving many fans fascinated with the idea of what could happen if Ash canonically matured into his late teens, his 20s, or even pressed D for dad mode and smashed out the next generation of trainers. And it's going to be a fun discussion, so kindly request your Machoke to cross-chop that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe for the hottest updates on Brock's love life, and let's jump right in. So we had a bit of a chit chat about the potential end of Ash Ketchum in our last Q&A, but the notion of a time skip occurring and Ash actually staying on board as a visibly mature character with undeniably adult characteristics is also very interesting. Before we address whether or not it may actually happen, let's walk through a quick thought exercise to outline how bangers a time skip could actually be. So just close your eyes and imagine. Close them. Close your eyes and imagine that when the next series kicks off, Ash is a taller, mature-looking man in his mid-20s. He's maintained years of consecutive wins in the World Coronation Series after sealing the deal against Leon in Pokémon Journeys, and he's notched his belt with numerous other achievements since we last saw him. He's taken up residence in Kanto or his second home, Alola, or perhaps even another region where he's established his own league. Maybe he's even gotten married and has his own children who might appear as protagonists or side characters in the new series. After decades of forgetfulness, he's memorized his strength and weakness chart. And Pikachu is doing well too. His Iron Tail has developed into a high-carbon Steel Tail, and he's pumped out a hearty litter with his soulmate. But even after all these years of traveling and achieving so many great things, Ash finds himself thirsting for a new adventure. I think this introduction to the concept of a grown-up Ash sets the stage for so many very interesting stories that could be told. But if you think it all sounds like a steaming Golurk turd, just let me know. And you can open your eyes now if you want, or you can keep them closed so that I don't have to do any more editing. That would be okay too. Anyways, if the floating timeline was finally broken and Ash grew into a man seasoned in the spices of life as we've just outlined, and he continued to play a big part in the anime, what kind of role exactly would he play? Do zip down to the comment section and let me know your thoughts, but here are two options that I find particularly interesting. Option number one, the mentor. The first option is for Ash to play the role of mentor, a man who guides the next generation of trainers to stardom. Similar in a sense to Professor Oak, he could be the bad man who gives a young group of trainers their very first Pokemon and gently pushes them out the door to begin their adventures. Spoiler, everyone gets a Tauros. But being Ash, I envision him being a very different mentor figure from any of the professor archetypes that we've seen to date. Instead of being a talking head in a lab, I see him as the type of mentor who'd be out on the road, bumping into the next generation from time to time over the course of their journeys and helping them out of some real wingdinger situations that would otherwise leave them overwhelmed. Even if he wasn't the main protagonist anymore, he could still play a crucial role as a mentor cherished by fans, much like All Might in My Hero Academia. For those who haven't seen My Hero Academia, All Might is the powerful and charismatic mentor of the main character, Deku. And despite not being the central character of the story, he is a character who is just as interesting and important to fans as Deku himself. Perhaps even more so. No spoilers, but if you have seen the show, then you know exactly what I mean. And I personally think that Ash would make a very wonderful mentor, but how about you? Option number 2, the adventurer. The second option that would really tickle my turtwigs would be if a grown-up Ash decided to embark on a grander quest than anything he has tackled to date. A kind of quest that transcends the organized tournament structure that has been played out over the past couple decades and delivers a full-on save-the-world style adventure. Think a Pokémon movie blown up into a massive quest with a gripping storyline and proper character development set across a series of epic locations. And such a banger quest could take place within the regions we've come to know so far, or it could unfold in a brand new anime-specific region, quite different from anything that we've seen before, with its own set of rules to play by. It could even be, God forbid, an isekai adventure. The point is, it would up the stakes for Ash beyond merely winning or losing tournaments, and introduce viewers to battles and character drama with more weight than ever before, accompanied by a more mature tone and the electrifying intensity of a shonen anime geared towards a little bit of an older audience, like My Hero Academia or Demon Slayer. It would be brilliant. And Pokemon certainly wouldn't be the first of its kind to pull off a time skip. Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Digimon are among the many who have given it a shot with varying degrees of success. And of course, so has One Piece, the only anime that started around the same time as Pokemon that has also enjoyed a consistent run to this day. Another staple anime that is a real treat. Either of these options sound pretty awesome to me, but more importantly, you've got to tell me your ideas, as I am curious what sort of grown-up Ash scenarios people are cooking up. So please do drop us a comment. Now, to quickly address the other component of Rexy RBLX's question, do I want a time skip and real forward motion and growth for Ash? Yes, I absolutely do. And I say this as someone who has enjoyed tuning into the show for over 20 years, but would just like to see something fresh and a little bit more mature. But do I think it will actually happen? No, I don't. Because the show is designed with younger audiences in mind, and while a 25 or 30-year-old Ash is something that would get me hyped up, it is possible that such a character could make the anime less relatable to the kids who tune in. Or at least that is what ourselves and the TV companies calling the shots are led to believe. But given the rampant success that Demon Slayer has had in Japan over the past year and a half, with everyone from adults to very young children really digging it, despite it featuring mature themes that make the ideas I proposed seem like Teletubbies material by comparison, I think there is a lot more room to dial up the maturity in these tales for kids than we seem to think. But alas, they will never risk eroding the appeal and relatability of Pokemon anime with younger audiences, so I imagine that Ash will be stuck in this floating timeline until either the Pokemon anime ends or we end. and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Pokemon is a fun show that is very accessible across age brackets, and with its current structure, it is very easy to pick up and put down. But if they did pull off a time skip and a grown-up Ash took the helm, it could be incredible. And if these adventures were contained to a late night or seasonal side anime similar to Pokemon Twilight Wings, it would make for an incredible companion series that wouldn't step on the toes of the great brand that's been established through the work of thousands of people over 2 decades. I don't blindly believe that we will ever get that kind of anime, but I certainly do dream of the possibilities. For the time being, if you are looking for a Pokemon story that is a bit more mature, then check out the Pokemon Special manga, or Pokemon Adventures manga as it is known in the English translation, as it is a series for all the bad men and bad women out there craving a little bit more in the storytelling department. It's as dandy as a Dunsparce, and yes, the protagonists actually do age. Well, those are my 2 cents, but how about you? Should Pokemon do a time skip, or would that be silly? And if Ash grew up, what kind of person would he become? I'm curious what you think. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone. I hope you all have a very healthy, happy, and safe week. Do follow me over on Twitter, and as always, let's chat.